Good afternoon. My name is Wendy Gruhl. I am an executive in residence at the Nazarian College and strategic advisor, and kind of help and do whatever Chandra says I should do. Where are you, Chandra? Okay. But really happy to be here and so excited about this. So this competition is called the Marine Bull Ring Competition, Jeff Marine Bull Ring Competition, a little history of where we are. It's hosted annually by the Nazarian College Center for Social and Technology Entrepreneurship, and we're celebrating, believe it or not, our 11th year. If you look behind, yes, did I hear someone like start to clap? So 11 years. If you look behind you and behind me, you'll see the rich history of the competition going back all the way to 2016. This competition, and more briefly, the entrepreneurial ecosystem at CSUN overall, has come a long way over time and continues to grow and improve each and every year. The competition attracts undergraduate and graduate students from across campus and from various disciplines. This year's finalist teams are comprised of students from the Nazarian College of Business and Economics, the Andrew Anagos College of Engineering and Computer Science, the College of Social and Behavior Sciences, and the Mike Kerb College of Arts, Media, and Communication. It is going to be a treat today from this great diverse group of students. The students who are pitching their business ideas today have emerged from really incredibly competitive activities and rounds of competition. So from an initial field of 38 they advanced the semifinal round of 20 teams, and now in the final rounds, they will be competing for all of the glory and, of course, the $20,000 in prizes. The students have been putting a bit of work. I saw some of them standing around here looking what they were doing. They've worked with their advisors, and it really has been incredibly competitive thus far. So just even reaching this point in the competition is an accomplishment in and of itself. So let's give a great round of applause for all of our student teams that are participating today. I do want to acknowledge a few people who are here from our advisory board. You know, our alumni and community supporters are so important to what we're able to do. We are joined, and I would ask you to stand, and then we'll give you all a round of applause. Mark Wolf, who is on both our Nazarian board and the advisory board. Harvey Bookstein, who's also one of our judges today, is on our advisory board. And Bill Amata, who's being shy in the back. There you go. There's Bill, who's also on our team. Thank you. And, of course, our extraordinary leader, who really has made this possible and as one of those people, you know, a lot of people say, you know, we want to do this, and they're like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. Chandra always says yes, much to our chagrin sometimes, to everything that we're able to do for the students, and I appreciate that. So let's give a great round of applause for Dr. Chandra Subramanian, the Dean of the College of the Nazarian College, who's been incredibly supportive. And of course, Ryan Holbrook, who puts this all together, our program director, who leads this event. Thank you, Ryan, for all that you do as well. And last but not least, Dr. Joanne Silito, who's the Executive Director of the Center for Social and Technology Entrepreneurship, and has been a wonderful addition. Now I think Joanne has been like 5-6 years, maybe she'll tell us, but let's welcome Joanne to the stage to tell us a little bit more about the center.
Hello, everybody. I'm excited to have another year of the Bull Ring Competition. It's a pleasure to welcome you to the Jeff Marine Bull Ring Competition. It's a signature event of the Center for Social and Technology Entrepreneurship. This event is about bold ideas, real-world problem-solving, and entrepreneurial spirit. I want to congratulate today's finalists. It's a significant accomplishment to reach even this stage of the finals, and I wish you all well. Congratulations. Before we begin, similar to what Wendy said, I want to thank you to Ryan Holbrook, who has been leading this program. His vision and coordination today made today's program possible. I also want to recognize the support of the rest of the center team, Kenny and Anna, and also the Dean's office, Chandra, but also the marketing, developing, and event staff. Their behind-the-scenes work truly brings this experience to life. I would also like to thank our judges, our speaker, and our mentors, who all contributed significantly to this program, as well as the Jeff Marine family, who has sustained support for this program over the years. The Bullring represents the center, which is about creating a space where innovation meets opportunity and where ideas are challenged, refined, and elevated. I welcome students and alumni to check out the center. We offer a host of programs, speaker series, several competitions like this. We have the Sunstone event, which is a CSU-wide competition coming up on May 8th here on campus as well. We offer a minor, all sorts of opportunities for you to develop your ideas and help you to achieve your entrepreneurial success. Once again, welcome, and I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you.
As I understand, many of the mentors who help in this competition, as well as partners and sponsors, are in the audience today. These are individuals who have been volunteering their time in support of the next generation of entrepreneurs at CSUN over the course of an entire semester, many of which have been involved for more than close to our 11 years. This is an important aspect of this program where these students, again, have their ideas, but they have these mentors who they can kind of have that conversation. Is this going to work? How will it work? And really a critical part. And so can we give a great round of applause for those that are our mentors in helping our entrepreneurs? And before I introduce our judges, I want to take a special moment to thank Jeff Marine and his family, because without the support of them, who sparked the idea of this competition now a decade ago, Jeff has served as the founding member of the Entrepreneurship Advisory Board at CSUN and continues to support the entrepreneurship ecosystem at CSUN. Although he wasn't able to be here today in person due to travel, he wanted to send his best wishes. He has been here many times cheering on those that are in the competition. So now it is my great pleasure to introduce our incredibly talented and diverse group of judges who will have that difficult decision at the end of who receives the top 3 prizes. In addition to the $10,000 grand prize, there's a $5,000 for second place and $2,000 for the third place. The top 3 teams will also each receive access to a $2,500 for free legal services, courtesy of competition sponsor Novus GC, and $2,500 of free marketing branding services, courtesy of compensation sponsor Intersect LA, which is really incredible. It's not only the financial side, but those things are really important, as you'll see today, and even some of the questions about how you're going to get this done. On top of that, there are 3 additional $1,000 prizes: the Social Impact Award, Best Use of Technology, and of course, everyone's favorite, which is the Audience Choice Award, which you all have to participate in that, where you will have a chance to determine the winner who's the audience choice. So I will provide you with some details when we get to that point about the Audience Choice Awards and how you participate in that. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our extraordinary judges today. So first, I'm excited to introduce, and I will ask after I introduce you, you can make your walk up, kind of like getting the Academy Awards. I'm doing that. That was not open, thank goodness. Okay, so first, Christina Katsoyan. She is the Vice President and District Manager of U.S. Bank. She oversees, let's give her a round of applause. You can go that way, sorry, that way, you're gonna sit over there, okay. 14 retail branches, oversees 92 employees in the San Fernando Valley area of Greater Los Angeles. She joined the bank in 2004 after earning her MBA from San Francisco State University, following a part-time teller role that launched a 22-year banking career. She immigrated from Armenia in the mid-1990s and is a passionate community leader who volunteers in the San Fernando Valley since 2003 at financial literacy for low-income schools and supports local businesses growth through the Valley Economic Alliance, and really is one of our great Valley treasures. So happy to have you. Next is a place where I spend a lot of my money, just saying, Frank Leone, who is a multi-concept restaurateur. He is a veteran of LA restaurateurs of Ventura Boulevards. Let's give him a round of applause. Dining Scene in Studio City. He is a Costa Rican immigrant who arrived in the U.S. at the age of 17 and began at La Loja restaurant for nearly 35 years ago. He later purchased the iconic spot. I had my second date with my husband to be there, so there you go. It's a special place for us. He launched, after that, Next Door Tapas, Ceremony Bar, The Village, Gastropub, and partnered on Leona's Sushi House, which earned Michelin Guide recognition only months after opening in 2022. He's a dedicated philanthropist. He lives in Toluca Lake with his wife, Margarita, and their 4 children while supporting local and international causes. Let's give him also a great round of applause again. Now, Harvey Bookstein, I call him Mr. CSUN, Mr. Nazarian College, Mr., if you know, Bookstein Hall, which is where you all go to class, those of you that are in the College of Business Economics. He is a founding partner of RBZ LLP, now merged with Armanino LLP, where he is a partner. He focuses on real estate, tax estate planning, and business consulting. He is a 1970 CSUN. Yes, round of applause for Harvey. He got his business administration degree here at Cal State Northridge, and has served as 5 decades as one of California's most respected certified public accountants. He is a dedicated philanthropist and community leader. He and his wife, Harriet, have donated millions to CSUN's Nazarian College of Business Economics, resulting in, as I mentioned, the naming of Bookstein Hall. He has guest lectured, he has mentored hundreds of students, and received the Distinguished Alumni Award and an honorary doctorate from Cal State Northridge. Another round of applause for Harvey Bookstein. And last but not least, someone I've also known for many decades, Brian Diamond, who is the founder and CEO of Diamond Landscaping. He established this in 1991 after studying landscape design. Let's give him a round of applause. At UCLA. Under his leadership, the firm has become Los Angeles' largest residential landscape provider and the 4th largest nationwide, servicing a prestigious clientele of A-list celebrities and entertainment executives. He won't tell them all of us, but he knows where they all live, just so you know. He's a dedicated civic leader. He has served as a GLASA trustee since 2002, including a term as a board chair. He's currently in his 8th year as a trustee at Oakwood School trustee, and he also chairs the institution's landmark $70 million capital campaign and serves on the Discovery Q board with me as well. Great round of applause again for Brian Diamond. Okay, we're ready, okay? We are ready. They're going to ask tough questions, okay? Do not be easy on these I won't call them kids, students. So, okay, so here's how this is going to work. Each of our 5 teams will have 7 minutes to present their new venture, which is followed by a 5-minute Q&A period from our judges. After all 5 teams have presented, we will welcome a special keynote speaker, our distinguished alum, Paul Jennings, while our judges enters the deliberation chambers. They will return to announce the first, second, and third prize winners, who will be claiming the portion of their $20,000 of our $20,000 prize purse. So we're going to welcome our first team. We're ready. So I'll ask you to join me in putting your hands together for finalist, which team members Michelle Montalban, who's a sociology major at CSUN, Kevin Payumo, a computer science student from USC. Welcome to the stage, finalist.
Hello, everybody. Today I present to you finalist, the only AI technology that turns secondhand inventory into online listings within minutes. Hi, everyone. My name is Michelle Montalban, and I have been in search engine optimization and growth roles for the past 6 years for companies like Macy's and Slick Deals. Since then, I quit my 9-to-5 and had the privilege to enroll in CSUN as a sociologist in training. My research spans across creative entrepreneurs and immigrants. Next to me here, I have Kevin Payumo, our co-founder and CEO, sitting right here in front of us. You can call him KP. KP has been helping companies like Cisco and NASA JPL innovate through their AI at scale. He built the core AI of finalist from scratch, y'all. And today, we want to present to you something that really fills a gap. So the demand for secondhand fashion is booming. If you are a student here, or an alpha, know a Gen Alpha, Gen Z, or a millennial, you know that vintage fashion is it. It's not just a culture, it's not just a trend. It's become an identity for folks. And behind this culture is mass supply. But what people miss is that behind the supply, there's $350 billion in the secondhand industry, and it's growing 5 times faster than traditional retail. Over half of US consumers are buying secondhand already. So we have the buyers, the demand is there, so what is missing? What is the bottleneck? Selling secondhand online is manual and so slow. Can you imagine taking pictures of your inventory? It takes 10 minutes to just list a single item. You take photographs of it, you write the description, and then you have to do pricing research because you want to get your money's worth, right? It's impossible to scale this manually. And there's billions of dollars that get left off the table because sellers don't go online. They don't sell online, inventory doesn't get listed, and billions of dollars are left locked. Just like that one t-shirt in your closet that you swore you would wear this year, but you still haven't. Now the solution to this? finalist. Introducing what you capture, catalog, and then convert. So finalist is the only supply-side infrastructure tool of its kind. All you have to do is take a walkthrough video of your inventory. Here we have a North Face jacket. And then you take a seat because our AI does everything for you. From frame detection that marks the front of the product, the back of the product, and the size tag. From description generation, which marks the brand, also the condition of the item, and the size. We also do pricing research. The AI does it all itself for you. It makes sure that you list your product for an appropriate price. So what else? Then it automatically posts it on Shopify for you or eBay. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds like a little bit too good to be true, maybe. But we put this technology to the test. KP and I had the privilege to attend Rose Bowl this year. This was literally 2 weeks ago. And the sociologist in me showed up and I said, you know what? I'm gonna survey these folks very informally. I walked up to those sellers and I said, do you have any of these items online? Their answer, no, not really. And how come? The sellers got real vulnerable with me, y'all. They said, it takes way too long, it's too complicated, and we don't even know to get started. There's so many platforms, we don't understand the technology. Soon enough, Violet, we had our very first client that we were onboarding. We spent 1 hour recording video at their warehouse. It yielded 500 items that we listed on eBay for them, and it yielded $500 worth of sales within a week. This is real, y'all. This is not hypothetical. And I know what you're thinking now. How much does it cost to use Violet? How much does it cost to unlock the inventory in my closet? Here we have our revenue models. If you're a casual seller, it only costs you $20 a month, and you can list 150 items. If you're more of a pro seller or a growing seller, it only costs you $40 a month to list 500 items. And then we have our enterprise tier, which is $500 per month per location. This is for your larger chains or warehouses, right? The best part is there's $0 in seller fees. Sellers are tired of eBay, Poshmark, Depop, Mercari carving out pieces of their revenue, and they deserve better than that. With us, we only win when you win. If you go over your planned tiers, you will be charged 10 cents per listing. Now, our go-to-market strategy is very simple. We prove it and then we scale. As a sociologist, we like looking at the data. So we have some lofty goals, y'all. We plan to get 100 subscriptions by July of this year. That's a mix of warehouses, independent sellers, and we plan to use this data from retention, also consumer behavior across the tiers, to launch us into our next phase with case studies already ready to present to these larger chains. We plan to land our first contract in September of 2026 and hopefully reach $600K in annual recurring revenue. Now, the Bull Ring has had an immense impact in our business right now. We want to thank and extend a huge thank you to Daniela Corrente. I'm not sure if she's here right now, but she has helped us immensely in the trajectory of Violist. Also, Ryan Holbrook, of course, and the overall Bull Ring team, even Jeff himself. And if we win, we want the 10K to go to number one, building our in-person presence. We want to be in the weeds to see where are the pain points that our sellers are experiencing. Number two, we want to pour a lot of money into influencer marketing. Why? Because we want to target those sellers that are on TikTok, that are on Instagram, that know the audience. We want to build trust with these audiences, and we want to make sure that they know there's a solution out there for them. Join us in the future of secondhand fashion. There's $350 billion worth of secondhand inventory out there, and we're here to help you capture, catalog, and convert. Thank you all. And one last thing here, if there's anybody in the room that has connections to Poshmark, eBay, any kind of secondhand clothing, please reach out to us at hello@vilist.ai or also on Instagram at vilist.ai, or talk to me after.
I had a question. I see between the starter, pro, and enterprise, who is your target customer and how would you market to them?
Yeah, we're definitely exploring the product market fit. We know that there's a massive amount of sellers on eBay, Depop, independent, and we know that they don't really extend past 100 items per month. So we want to be able to provide this technology to them to make their selling process easier. If you all have closets less than 100 items and you just want to get rid of it, just use our app, get it on eBay, sell it, be done with it, clear up your closet space. So that's what that's targeted for. The $40 a month is really for the vintage stores. We expect them to have maybe a couple of thousand items that they go throughout the year. $40 a month is a price point that we felt that they would be open to for the amount that they could sell with the value that we bring. And these are really the proof points that we hope to land at scale. So as was mentioned during the pitch, we have these case studies, we have user behavior, and we can present that at enterprise. So when we get the chance to present in Plato's Closet, which has like over 100 locations, these chains have about like over 2,000 locations in total with Buffalo Exchange, Plato's Closet, and so on. We want to be able to land those enterprise contracts with evidence from these smaller pricing tiers.
And so would you do that through just social media or marketing online?
Yeah, mainly social media. The vintage community is very tight-knit. We have to be there in person. That's why, yeah.
So you would go and pound the pavement?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Atlanta, Tennessee, Houston, New York. Seattle, we want to be there.
We have folks in our DMs from New York, and we're like ready to go out there in person and see what they need, what they want, so we can also bring it to them.
Awesome. Yeah.
How do you plan to raise initial capital to move you to the next level? And if you identified any potential suitors to want to invest with you?
There's a couple where we've been trying to figure out how we could most intelligently use investor capital. Right now, we know that presence is really the main thing. We've also learned throughout our initial clients that there's a lot of ask for onboarding. And there's a lot of people who don't originally sell online. They don't even have eBay accounts. So there is a ton of labor to be filled. And that's why we do have to be on the field, but we can't scale ourselves that way. We can't do the marketing, we can't do the tech if we're also in the field. So we want to save time for that. We've seen places like Menlo Ventures. Google also has like this startup fund and we use a Google Stack as well, so we're a very good fit for them. But these are the things that we're exploring. All this development happened in like 4 months. So it's moving very fast, and I think we are at the stage where we want to seriously pursue funding to fill that labor need that we have.
How do you have access to the merchandise? What kind of technology are you going to use to have to be able to find the merchandise that is going to make you successful online for people to start buying your service?
I feel like I'm answering all the questions, but I have been going to the warehouses, and I'm the one that recorded 1 hour worth of video. And when we went to that warehouse, I was like looking at the inventory. I was like, oh shoot, honestly, like I don't know if a lot of this will sell. And I was nervous, like, oh, we're not gonna get the proof that we need to make this business like scale, and like we're gonna have to find other clients, better products. But we found out that we're able to sell $500 with just like 1 hour of effort, that 1 hour recording. So we're not too concerned about the type of products people have. It's really up to them to put it at a fair price. Our pricing research does help with that. And yeah, I think like we're not too concerned about inventory. The warehouse that is currently our first client has over 100 tons. So we could keep filling the app as we gain users.
I'm kind of curious, from the problem resolution standpoint, have you had any instances where clients have any returns, or any of your sign-up members, subscribers have issues? How do you manage that process?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so thank you for your question, Christina. So all of that is dealt with the actual business that is selling it. So that's going to be dealt through the warehouse, right? So all we do is we're that liaison, we're that technology that bridges it to make things faster for them. We just put it online for them. Any returns or issues with the products is always solved with the initial sellers. Thank you all for your questions.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, how many of you in this room buy vintage? Go to a vintage store? Come on. All right, good. See, there's your marketplace too. Your buyers, in addition to the sellers. So thank you so much. And for those of you, and I will say to our partners, we have the next door to us called the Valera Nest, which is a new facility that's open that has not only slightly used clothing that students are able to access, but also food pantry and place where you can microwave things and do. It's really an amazing place. So if you have a moment, right next door, it's extraordinary. So thank you so much to our presenters. Really appreciate it. Exciting. So now it's my pleasure to introduce our next team to our sharks over here, is Marketers Box, an interdisciplinary team of CSUN students, Philip Fonseca, a business management major, Cesar Salcido, a computer science major, and Ivan Gonzalez, an information systems major. Please welcome to the stage Marketers Box.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Philip Fonseca, a co-founder of Marketers Box. We're a partner for the trades, helping local service businesses know what marketing makes their phone ring. Picture a plumber right here in Los Angeles. He's currently spending his hard-earned money on Google Ads, flyers, truck wraps, and more, but just like 82% of other small businesses, he has no idea if those marketing channels are actually working. That is a very blind spot. That's a very expensive blind spot. For that plumber, on average, he has to spend $91 just to make his phone ring once. And with marketing costs and home services rising at twice the rate of other industries, it's only getting more expensive. This leaves this plumber making business decisions in the dark, and every marketing dollar becomes potential waste. But what's changed? Now, single channel businesses are diminishing at a rapid pace. An average business owner is running 6 more channels than they did a decade ago. And the people who were here to service this all went up market. They raised their prices and added features that were never designed for the small business owner. And this shows. Now nearly 47% of them feel like they're drowning in technology that they just can't keep up with. And that's because they don't need an enterprise platform. They need a partner that helps simplify the noise so they can get back to their real work. And that partner is Marketers Box. Getting started only takes minutes. You just go in our platform, search by area code, and it gets you a tracking number that you choose. After that, you just label it by channel, and then put that number on whatever marketing you wish to track. The best part is that all the calls that you get forward directly to your main business line, so nothing changes for you or your customer. But now when that phone rings, a simple dashboard could tell you exactly what channel drove that call. So now the owner knows what to double down on or what to cut. No more guessing if his money's being wasted or if it's working. Instead, every marketing decision is backed by data. And currently, we have a simple model. Our base plan starts at $19 a month. This allows an owner to pick one tracking number and then test it against their main business line immediately. This means low barrier to entry and a quick value for the business owner. And if they want to grow, all they have to do is add an extra tracking number for only $5 a month. This means they only pay for what they need. And with this current model, we're operating at a 64% gross margin, giving us plenty of room to reinvest back into the business, grow efficiently, and build a durable business. And we have a clear place to start. Here in California, there's over 11,000 HVAC and plumbing business, all who are highly call-driven. Nationally, that jumps to over 100,000, with a very clear path into other verticals across the country, reaching 200,000 call-driven service providers. And a lot of the competition who was in the space all went in the same direction. They started chasing agencies. This means they layered into their platforms CRM integrations, white label reporting, and complex JavaScript code. Now, even some owners have to hire a consultant just to set it up for them. But the truth is these owners don't have marketing or IT teams. They want one simple answer, and that's if their yard sign they're paying for is working. And we're reaching out to these owners directly. This is through cold calling, emailing, and in-person visits. And because it's founder-led, everything builds insight. This allows us to know how to better position our product to our target demographic and makes the next sale easier to close. Especially within these tight-knit communities of trades, word travels fast. And so an owner to owner means a lot, and that's how decisions get made. After we go through that, we are able to scale through channel partners, such as the marketing agencies that already work with these small owners. And this allows us to build a pipeline to get new accounts quicker, and as well as lets the agencies prove that their job is actually driving results. And Marketer's Box is more than just a concept. It's a live platform with paying customers. To date, we've done over 150 founder-led dials, converting at a 7% conversion rate. To put that in perspective, B2B sales usually close at 3%, as well as our infrastructure is currently up and running. We have our website live, socials are active, and our SEO is in motion. We're also currently in early conversations with a boutique marketing agency exploring a partnership. This will allow us to build a pipeline to new accounts and scale our growth even quicker. That's why we're asking for the $10,000 to help accelerate a model that's already working. $6,000 would be going to subsidizing pilots. This allows us to put Marketer's Box in contractors' hands quicker, but more importantly, build the proof that we need to shorten those sales cycles and reduce our customer acquisition cost. Next, we'd put $2,500 to reaching more owners. This is the infrastructure we need to better discover customers, better manage relationships, and scale the overall outreach. After that, we'd put $1,500 into improving the product. Retention's important. If people like the product, they stay longer and refer faster. But a company is only as strong as the team behind it. Caesar, our lead engineer, who's the person who built and architected the platform that's currently live, stable, and serving customers. And then Ivan, our CEO, who leads the company's direction and overall product fit to make sure we're building something that's right for our consumer base. I lead our go-to-market strategy, making sure we're building out good and outbound infrastructure and leveraging my background in small business consulting to make sure we're building genuine relationships with our clients. But that plumber is still out there, still spending money, and still guessing if his marketing works. That's why we built Marketer's Box for him and for other owners who deserve to know if their money's working or not. Thank you.
Great work on the numbers. I love the fact that you have the marketing and your competitors' price line exactly where you're at. Good work. Thank you. I don't have any questions.
Yeah, great presentation, guys. And I know marketing, I own a service business, so I know a lot about how, the need to market a business, but really, sales and closing the deal is more important. Out of the people that are using your service now, it sounds like you have a couple customers. Are you tracking their sales and their actual, they're closing a deal? Because that's like obviously the most important part of the marketing is to closing the deal. Do you guys help them, close a deal, or is just basically getting their name out there to make sure they're hitting the right demographic?
Yeah, so for the platform, it allows you to know what marketing is making the people calls to get leads. And then within it, we're building out the ability to let you know if that call resulted in a sale or not, so you know how to convert better.
Thank you.
I think one thing you might consider is that obviously referrals extremely important in your business. You can't keep chasing every individual to try to get them to use your service. I don't know if you've considered at all paying a referral fee to people that use your service that are happy to get them encouraged to tell the people they know to use your service as well.
No, completely. I agree. I think you hit this kind of cap in terms of cold outreach, especially if it's founder-led. That's one of the reasons that we do spend a lot of times with our initial customer base to strengthen that referral. And the same thing with the agencies, that referral kickback to be able to put it to their smaller clients who couldn't afford something like a $150 subscription at CallRails.
Great presentation. I'm in the restaurant business, and marketing food is very difficult, especially a high-end restaurant. But I do believe that projects like yours will work perfectly for small service companies, like you refer to a plumber. Okay, that I totally agree with you. That's my only comment. I really don't have.
Hey, thank you. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Good, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. No worries. Okay. All right, we are moving along. Our next group that's going to make a presentation, teams, is Listabid, which is comprised of 2 students, Kamyar Sepanalu, I apologize for mispronouncing, a financial analyst major at CSUN, and Kylo Owahadi from the University of Indiana. Put your hands together for Listabid.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cam, founder and CEO of Listabid. We save home sellers tens of thousands of dollars when they sell their properties. So the issue started when I first became a realtor. The very first home I sold was a referral through a family friend in which I made $30,000 in commission on a $1 million property. I was ecstatic, but with that being said, I knew that I would have done the exact same job for only $5,000 in commission. And worse than that, an agent more qualified than me with more experience that could have sold the home for more and faster would have taken even less than I did. The problem for realtors is they often lose listings that they should have had, but because they didn't have the opportunity to present themselves to the seller at the time this house was going for sale. So with that, we created Listabid. Homeowners post their properties with just their address, and realtors bid their commission rates against each other while showcasing their experience over to the seller. The homeowners post their home with just their address. Our API and data will pull all the property information, such as estimated market value, photos of the property, as well as bedroom count and bathroom count. And then all the realtors in the area are notified and are able to go ahead and submit a bid by just clicking the commission amount they would like to take. So far, every property that's found an agent on Listabid has saved $25,000 on their commission fees. They've sold their property in half the time the average days on market is, and they've sold their home for over 8% over the estimated market value. So far, we've had over $28 million worth of real estate volume in our platform. We've saved home sellers over $600,000 in potential commission fees. We've had real estate commission bids as low as 0.5%, with the industry standard being roughly about 3%. We have realtors from all the top brokerages, Colliers, Serhant, Keller Williams, Compass, so on and so forth. We also have listings, sellers, and agents in over 13 states. So a big question I'm always asked is, why hasn't something listed exist in the past? And the truth is right now selling a home for realtors has become easier than ever. With tools like Zillow, Redfin, and AI agents that can send outbound text and messaging, selling a home has become exceedingly simple. Over 40% of homeowners interviewed multiple agents last year, which is double from prior years from that. And then with Listabid, we make that process completely frictionless for sellers. Our go-to-market is simple. So our agent acquisition, we have roughly a sub $10 customer acquisition cost using paid channels such as Meta. Off cold email outbound, we have roughly between a 5 to 8% conversion rate of agents joining. Another huge kind of driver for agent growth for us is going to be agent-led referrals. So when agents sign up with us, they get put on a wait list. And in order to move up on the wait list, they can refer other agents. And that also allows them to get extra bids for free. As far as seller acquisition, we've tried different channels: Hulu, Disney+, ESPN, guerrilla marketing, lead nurturing, emails, calls. Ultimately, the most effective has been performance marketing via paid ad channels such as Meta Ads, where we roughly have a $200 customer acquisition cost per listing. Our initial service area is the San Fernando Valley with, it was Los Angeles with a specific interest in the San Fernando Valley. So far, all those dots are we've had listings in Los Angeles so far, just again, within the past 2 months. There's a lot of first-time sellers, a lot of investors, and a high agent congestion in these areas. Our business model is monthly subscriptions. So agents pay monthly subscriptions based on how many bids they would like allocated monthly. They get 2 bids a month for free for 3 months, and then from there they can upgrade to $15, $50, or $80 a month. We're also imposing a 7.5% to 10% post-sale commission split. So if an agent gets a 1% commission on $1 million property, we will take 10% of his commission. Looking at our TAM bottom up, our SOM is representative of the 1.2 million active realtors who currently pay for lead generation. On average, realtors, on a lower average, realtors pay roughly between $100 to $200 a month on advertising and lead generation. If those realtors who are already paying for advertising converted to our $50 a month model, we're looking at a potential $785 million annual revenue. Zillow and Redfin would be our biggest competitors. The difference with Zillow and Redfin both is that they don't really provide any value add to the seller. So on Zillow, a seller will go, enter their email, a random realtor will pay $100 for that email address, and will still continue to charge them 3%, and they're not necessarily the best agent for the job. Redfin is similar. Redfin does offer lower commission rates at 1%, but again, we can get bids as low as 0.5%, and we allow variance. We allow transparency for the seller to see multiple options, whereas Redfin, again, just pawns off an agent, and then Redfin will take 65% of that agent's commission fee. This is a case study we had. So we had Roxana. She was an LA-based school teacher, an LAUSD, as well as an investor. She sold, I believe, over 24 homes within the past 3 years. And she was the same 2 realtors. Over time, the realtors became much more stringent on their fees and retained between 3 up to 5% just on the listing side commission. So, post popular belief, we're working with someone, they would lower their fees, they became more stringent on it. And so with that, she turned to list a bid, she posted her home. She accepted an agent bid at 1.5%. Peter Miller was the agent that won the bid. He had over 1,800 transactions done at the time. He sold the home in under 5 days and saved the seller $25,000 on the commission fees. Another case study is going to be Kay. Kay is a Canadian-based investor. She lives in Canada, had no agent connections out here, posted her $1.2 million property in Los Angeles. She got bids as low as 0.9% commission and ultimately went with a 1% agent who ended up doing the construction on the property and saving her over $20,000 to $30,000 in commission fees. This is a case study for realtors. So when realtors join the platform, we often notice them starting out with higher agent bids, 2.5% to 3%. As they lose listings, they significantly cut their commission rates to win more potential clients. So looking at Max here, he started at actually 2.5%, and he went all the way down to 0.6% commission just to start winning some listings. This is the team behind Listabid. We have myself, founder and CEO. We have Kylo Hadi, who was our technical co-founder and CTO. He's had 9 years of development experience, and he was the founding engineer at a pre-seed, a funded startup that was funded by Ford Capital. Adam Cohen is part of our founding team, and he's our main advisor. Adam recently raised a $10 million round at a $200 million valuation for his startup, and is currently raising $70 million at a $900 million valuation for his Series B. We also have Elliot, our CMO, and then we have Ali Ansari, who's advising us. Ali Ansari is founder and CEO of Micro One. We're $2.5 billion. He's slated to be, I believe, the 5th or 6th youngest billionaire in the AI space. We're raising our pre-seed round shortly. We're putting 53% of our money into growth and scaling, 27% into product and engineering, and then about 13% into ops. We've raised $255,000 at a $3.5 million post-money valuation. We have $100,000 in pending commitments, and we raised this essentially to go to market and prove our product works. Before we raised the fund, we had just the idea and the team, and now since raising, we've proved the product works and have saved homeowners a ton of money and have made agents even more. And that's Listabid. Thank you all.
Yeah, great presentation. You kind of whipped through it real fast for me. So can I just ask, so if I'm a home seller, I would go to Listabid, list my home on your site. Correct. And then you're saying instead of Zillow or Redfin, assigning one realtor, I have the opportunity to see multiple realtors bid on my property, and they will fight for the commission.
Correct.
That they can earn.
Correct.
And so how do I know I'm getting the best realtor for my house?
Absolutely. So I wish I could have attached the product demo, but when you do submit your property and you start receiving agent bids, all the agents have a fully fledged profile. They'll show their reviews, how many transactions they've had in the past, where those transactions were, how much they've made sellers over listing price, what their average days on market is. So on every single bid, you can click into the realtor and see all the analytics about that realtor themselves. So we do often get bids as low as 0.5%, and what sellers do is they vet multiple agents, they look through their profiles, and typically pick between the 0.7 to 1% agent, because those are the ones that, the profile resonated for whatever reason. Language barrier, experience, whatever the case may have been. So you have the option to look at all the agent's information.
Yeah, because for me, I want to pick the agent who's going to get me the most money for my house. I mean, I know saving on a commission is important, but if I can get an extra 100 G's on my property, that's more important to me. So obviously, knowing that I have the right person is important. So you can actually see their record on how they sell, or it's just kind of a profile on them?
Correct. Yeah. So we actively take all the realtors' information from Zillow. So we see all the active transactions they have, or are in progress for. We have an AI matching algorithm, so we built a model that looks over 200 variables about the agent and the seller, and can actually recommend the best agent for you. So now it's not going to necessarily be just on the bid price, but it'll factor everything. It'll say how fast can you sell your home, how much over asking can you sell it for, and how much will he save you. What we've noticed is a lot of agents will actually do lower commission bids because they can sell the home faster. If you're a realtor, you're not going to miss out on $15,000 in commission if you know you can sell it in a week. So that's why they actually go lower in their fees, because of their confidence and motivation for the sale.
Awesome. Thank you.
Do you need to be licensed to do this, or because you're not actually selling the home, you're more of an in-between, you don't need any licensing?
Correct. No licensing needed, just because we're essentially a lead generator.
And are you doing it just for single-family homes at this time?
No, so we do the case study for Key, that was a duplex. So far we've done land, single-family homes, multifamily homes, rental units, and obviously just on commercial properties as well. So yes, we've done everything.
Thank you.
By having not been able to, but if you will hire all these agents without a proper training or license, or what kind of liability your company will be taking by not having registered realtors? Would they follow certain protocols of escrow, title, etc.?
Yeah, so as for the realtors, they're actually all vetted before we accept them into the platform. So we check their license number to make sure they're licensed, they have no behavioral marks against their record, and they are part of a brokerage. At the end of the day, all the liability of the realtor falls under the brokerage. So if the realtor ends up winning a transaction, and let's say he messes up the paperwork or makes a mistake during the transaction, the liability will fall under the brokerage itself, such as Compass, and then their E&O insurance policies. So we don't assume any liability from the stance we're in.
So you're just providing the platform for those two to join. And does the
Correct.
seller have any type of commitment for the term with the realtors, or it just gets negotiated as well?
Correct. So the commitment's going to be between the realtor and the seller themselves. Again, what we do is once a seller selects a realtor, we provide them the contact information for each other. So we gate the seller's contact information to the agent until the seller picks the agent. So at that point, they get in touch. They set the terms there themselves. If the seller would like to pick a new agent, so let's say they get in touch with one of the agents and they don't like them, they have the ability to select a new one from the list within 10 days.
Very nice idea.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, you guys are going to have a tough job, I'm saying, picking all between these. Okay, so our next student team is to present will be HUED, which is composed of team members Lou Aboye, a graduate student studying sustainability at CSUN, and Mahir Satasiya from ASU. Welcome, HUED.
Hello, everyone. My name is Oluwasami Oboye, and I'm the CEO and founder of HUED. At HUED, we're reimagining fashion discovery to help individuals solve immediate and long-term fashion dilemmas through an authentic fashion community. So, in a world where we're bombarded by ads constantly, many disguised as helpful content, the line between promotion and discovery has blurred. HUED replaces persuasion with clarity, giving both consumers and organizations genuine insights across the entire buyer journey. So, be honest, have you or anyone that you knew had a hard time finding something to wear? Well, here at HUED, our mission is to elevate fashion literacy, inspire strategic consumption, and make fashion more accessible and inclusive through peer-to-peer fashion knowledge. By collaborating as a community, we're helping our users build, refine, and share critical fashion insights. So, what is Hued exactly? Hued is a fashion technology ecosystem that features both an app and a web platform. Hued closes the gap between aspiration, affordability, and personal style by bridging the space between what individuals aspire to look like, while also providing insights on how to actually achieve it. Our MVP features multiple fashion technology tools where users can analyze the colors of their outfits, digitize their closets, and see how others are wearing similar styles in real time, enabling our users to make more informed decisions about their style. Our website acts as a neutral intelligence layer where we verify the insights to all of our users' most pressing fashion questions. It's a platform where burgeoning experts can build credibility and for users to find actionable guidance on common and unique style pain points, enabling not only casual enthusiasts, but also niche communities to connect through fashion. This all feeds into our democratized data model, where users have total control over how their data is utilized. This powers our consumer lifecycle intelligence dashboard, which is a B2B SaaS product that helps retailers understand critical pain points and what consumers are discussing in real time. And by providing visibility into product sentiment and utility, Hued is turning user-controlled data into actionable intelligence for product development teams, retail merchandisers, and brand owners. So, at Hued, we sit at the intersection of fashion exploration. While our competitors are focused on the transaction, Hued is solely focused on consumer intelligence. And as a market research analyst with over 5 years of experience, I work with clients every day that are desperate to learn more about their customers. And in a hyper-digitalized world, increased brand competition has created multiple layers of digital friction. Hued represents a massive opportunity, not just for large retailers, but for any brand that wants a closer look at how consumers are actually engaging with their products. At Hued, we don't just provide data, we provide brands with a front row seat into the living narratives of their customers and their products. So I'm sure everybody wants to know, why does the world need another fashion app? Well, that's because traditional retail stops at the buy button. Hued stays for the entire conversation, capturing multiple layers of engagement long before and after the purchase is completed. And fashion is a $2.4 trillion industry. However, Hued is laser focused on those digitally engaged consumers who see the styles that they love, but lack the tools and the resources to translate them into their wardrobe. And just by capturing 10 to 15% of this market, Hued is building the world's most valuable tool of fashion alignment and style intent. And Hued is not just an idea. In 2024, we won the ASU Venture Devils competition, and since then, we've established key partnerships with the ASU Luminosity Lab, the ASU Small Business Clinic, as well as LA Tech Org, and we got accepted into the Plug-in Ventures Pre-Seed Accelerator. And after over 100 customer interviews and 20 conversations with retail customers, we finished our first revenue-generating prototype. And with this next round of funding, 50% will be dedicated to our cloud infrastructure as we move to a fully functioning product from a prototype. 25% will be dedicated to enterprise business development, and the last 25% will be dedicated to our operational runway, which is, right, Hued is a product. We have tons of customers that are interested in our product, and we need to make sure we have the funds for scalability and a growing client base. And last but not least, I would like to say thank you to all of the contributors to the Hue team over the past 2 years, and a big shout out to my lead engineer, Mahir Sataya, for making all of this possible. Thank you, guys.
Great, nice presentation. I know it's hard. I'm a little nervous too as a judge, so I get it. So I'm just have a little bit of a question on how Hue works. Is it connecting users with retailers, or is it like more like building confidence with users because it's more like a digital mirror? I'm just trying to figure out how would I use, like if I wanted to figure out if I'm looking good for a date or something, do I just take a picture and then I get a bunch of comments saying, you look hot, man, don't worry about it, you got this? I mean, or, you know, like,
okay, so,
or is it gonna connect me with someone that can say, hey, I can get you a better sweater?
So basically, I don't want to say that we do all of that, but in a sense, right, on our MVP, we have multiple tools where you can look at like what a person would wear for a date. And then on our website, we actually have information which is vetted and curated by experts to verify, okay, is he getting the best advice for this date? Does he look hot?
But is it gonna tell me what I have in my closet looks good, or is it gonna tell me, hey, go to this retailer and go buy this suit?
So it's based off of what you put into the app, but also if you needed suggestions from an expert, we also provide that as well.
How did you decide with the subscription tiers? I could see looking at it a bit costly, like level $3,000 per month.
Yeah.
How do you determine that?
3,000.
What, $999, 1,000, level 3?
Is that the old deck? Or is that the level 3? Okay.
Level 3.
Well, those are for enterprise clients, and over the past 2 years living in Los Angeles, I've had the ability to go to things like the LA Textile Exchange and talk to large manufacturers who are willing to pay this specific price, right? So I've talked to these customers, and they are willing and interested in Hue.
So practically you had to give yourself an inventory of the kind of stuff you have in your closet.
If you want to.
And based on that, you're gonna give me a feedback of how should I look? Besides, I have 2 boys who they tell me, no, you cannot wear that, you know. But I can pay them, you know, $299 to them, and what other extra can you give me to make myself look good?
But it's free for the users.
Impossible.
Right? So you go to Hue, which is a free platform, and that data is used to, right, for businesses who want to make the shopping experience easier or for targeted advertising. So, right, you won't have to pay anything.
Okay, got it.
I see an opportunity here that if you're going to go through all this and someone's going to ask your advice or opinion, that you should hook up to certain retailers that might fit the type of category someone's looking at, just to make additional commission, a sales commission, and be able to tell the person, not only would you look good in this, but here's where you might consider to go get it.
Thank you.
Other questions?
Let's do it.
Thank you, Lennon.
I'm just going to say, though, if he put it in the mirror and say, you look good today, don't you think
Oh,
in
he
the
did.
suit,
Yeah, he did.
you know? Oh, yes, okay. So I just want to give you some positive feedback there. That too.
Listen, if I
Thank you
can
so
look
much.
as good as you look,
Yeah.
I'll pay it.
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
mean, I did say I noticed him when he came into the room.
Great. Okay, we're going to have our final team to present today. So get excited and get thinking about it and how we're going to do this. Our last team to present is Grain, which is comprised of 3 students. Carl Fasberg, a marketing major, Skylar Gomoran, a film production major, and Maxwell Fun from UC Berkeley. Come on up, Team Grain. There you are.
Testing. All right, how's everyone doing tonight? How are y'all enjoying the bull ring? Come on, all right. So my name is Carl. My name is Sky. And at Grain, we are building the future of independent film distribution.
As an independent filmmaker, I am frustrated with the current system. And I'm not the only one. For the past 100 years, Hollywood has had an oligopoly on filmmaking. But now, things are about to change. Filmmakers are starting to realize they can make movies outside the traditional Hollywood system. Streaming flipped entertainment on its head. It's about to change once again. This is what the traditional film production cycle looks like, where big companies provide the funding needed for the production stage by the filmmakers. We're into a final deliverable, which is then distributed through streaming services and theatrical releases, and it's monetized. But the problem with the system is that the filmmakers have rarely get a cut of the profit made through distribution. And the streaming wars, the filmmaker strikes, as well as overspending led legacy distributors to decrease production by over 40% in the last 4 years, cutting the middle-class filmmakers out of the equation. So the filmmakers, the artists that actually make the content, are being screwed over by big entertainment, cutting corners. And now the cost of filmmaking, making high-quality movies, has never been lower. First, you got free editing softwares, and you got AI tools, and the price of cinema-grade camera equipment has decreased over 90% in the last 15 years. That means it's never been cheaper, easier, or more efficient to make a high-quality film.
So while the entertainment giants are focusing on big names and expensive productions, this growing market of indie filmmakers are getting a lot of traction on places like YouTube. The only problem is that YouTube's monetization algorithm values high-frequency posting, making it nearly impossible for these long-term film projects to earn at all. And so at Grain, we're rethinking the distribution model by building a platform that directly distributes earnings right to the filmmakers. And so here you can see what the consumer-facing side of the app, of the platform looks like. We designed our UI to elegantly complement the art of the filmmakers, and you might notice some unique features that you won't find on other streaming platforms, chief of which are social integrations. Gen Z does not just want to watch a movie. They want to feel like they're a part of a community. And that's why on our app, they can rate movies, see what their friends are saying, and they can follow their favorite filmmakers. And so we take subscription revenue from these Gen Z viewers and distribute 70% of that directly to the filmmakers based on how much watch time their movies are getting, solving the biggest problem in independent filmmaking today. And so here you can see what it looks like from the filmmaker perspective. A key point of our marketing strategy is that we're leveraging the existing audiences of these filmmakers. And so to help us do that, we built out this marketing lab, which allows the filmmakers to create and test custom links where they get $2 per user that converts. Another unique feature that we've built is our revenue splitting feature, which allows the filmmakers to natively, through the dashboard, split revenue amongst various stakeholders, whether that's somebody like an investor or a contributor like a director or producer. Because these guys don't have a lot of funding up front, this allows them to pay back their crew and investors after release. And so here you can see our market size. The projected 2030 global streaming industry sits at just over $400 billion, with $9 billion of that being niche and indie spend by Gen Z, which brings our serviceable obtainable market at around 1,000 filmmakers to just over 82 million gross.
And when it comes to competition, one of our closest similar competitors would be YouTube. However, YouTube prioritizes quantity over quality of content, which isn't good for filmmakers. How we relate to YouTube is that we're creator focused. And YouTube is more of a general video content platform, and we want to be more specialized in indie film production.
And so here you can see a breakdown of our cost projection as well as our unit economics. We predict that it'll cost about $400 to bring one of these filmmakers onto our platform, but with them, they bring an average existing audience of about 2,000 of their true fans, which brings their lifetime value to just over 16,500, and our LTV to CAC ratio to just over 41x. Why this matters is that existing streaming platforms spend anywhere from $60 to $90 per user. That means for them to get this same 2,000 user result, it would cost anywhere from $120,000 to $180,000. And so we've talked a lot about what we want to do, but why are we the team to do it? Well, as I mentioned, my name is Carl. On top of being a marketing major here at CSUN, I've, for the last 2 years, been the president and founder of the CSUN Entrepreneurs Club, who are there in the back, shout out. I've also worked at a marketing agency and currently do marketing for an AI company. Heading up our tech is our friend Stefan. On top of being a comp sci major here at CSUN, he's also built a forum posting platform with full social integrations and AWS integration as well, which makes him a perfect fit for this project.
And I'll be in charge of creator relations. I am currently a film production major here at CSUN with an emphasis in cinematography, and I also work as a director of photography for music videos, short films, advertisements, all with over 120,000 views.
Yeah, and so right now we're building up our initial library. We have a list of 26 filmmakers that are ready to go for our public launch at the start of Q3 of this year, where our goal is to get 10,000 subscribers and 50 filmmakers. And so the way we'd use the winnings is about 1/5 of it would go to video hosting costs and bring our app to the App Store. And then a majority of our spend will go to marketing, where we'll do things like film competitions, micro-influencer activations, and a slew of social media techniques to put our name on the map. And so that is all eventually to lead to our goal to raise a $500,000 seed by the end of the year so that we can compete with the big boys and hit our 5-year target of 1,000 filmmakers, 2 million subscribers, and just over 24.6 million annual recurring net revenue.
And Grain stemmed from a really simple idea. What would the future of filmmaking look like beyond an industry dominated by entertainment giants? And I love making movies, and thousands of other people around the world love making movies. But what we want is just to make our art, share our art, and make a living. And I've talked to many people in the industry, filmmakers in Los Angeles, and a common theme that comes up again and again is that the future is independent.
Thank you so much for listening. Please let us know if you have any questions.
Great presentation, guys. Thank you. So basically, if I made a movie, I'd upload it to your platform, and then your Grain users would be watching it for the monthly fee at $4.99 or $11.99, depending on which one they pick. And then how do I, maybe I missed it. How do I make my revenue? Is it by the views? Are they paying to watch the film? But they're not. It's just if they watch it, I'm getting a piece of that $4.99
Exactly.
that they pay a month?
Yeah, so there's 2 primary ways that you can make money on our platform. Number one is, basically we get all the subscription revenue from however many users we have, and then we divide that 70% of that revenue based on how much watch time your movie is getting. So if you have a poppin' movie, you'll be getting a bunch of money. But on top of that, as I mentioned earlier in the slides, we're trying to get these filmmakers to bring people onto the platform. So you would get $2 per user that you bring from your existing audience, be that on YouTube or Instagram or wherever.
So my hope would be that my film would go viral on your platform, and then a bigger distributor would come and find me, or how do I mark it up to the, let's say, to Paramount or to Universal or something like that?
Yeah, so actually we think that the market that we're going after really doesn't want to be taken up by Paramount or Universal. Our generation, Gen Z, the filmmakers and viewers, but filmmakers I'm talking about now that we're marketing towards, they have this entrepreneurial spirit in them, that is imbued in our generation. And so they really just want to make their art and make their money by themselves. And they can market on Instagram and TikTok and all these other places because they grew up with it. So why give Paramount all the money when they can make it on our platform?
I mean, it sounds very interesting. I just if I want to hit a blockbuster movie, worldwide, distribution, I guess I'm hoping that this platform will reach all those people.
Yes.
Because you're not going to get the heavy marketing. I mean, I get what you're saying. The bigger movie houses or the bigger production companies take a bigger cut, but they also do much bigger marketing, with all the commercials and the promos that go out with a big blockbuster movie.
So
would you have a Grain festival, where people could see and maybe buy the film?
Yeah, we haven't included it here because it probably won't be in our initial spend, but yes, we'd love to host festivals and a bunch of other marketing kind of stuff. That's what we'd use the seed and other money for. But obviously, our platform would be a great place for Paramount or Warner Bros. To poach people from. So it's a great way to show the work. And hey, it's a great way to show traction, right? Hey, we're getting this X many views on Grain, but ultimately, these people are kind of trying to work for themselves. They can do the marketing themselves. In fact, many of them, as I showed earlier, have massive audiences, and they want to distribute their films. They just don't have an avenue to make money from it just yet.
Thank you.
So, amazing idea, because the filmmakers really looking for the platform to showcase independent movies, and costly to go to the other platforms, like you mentioned, Netflix or the YouTube. And how do you intend to market yourself so that they are attracted to your app? What's going to differentiate you to promise them the land of opportunities?
Yeah, so I mean, right now there really isn't anything on the market that does what we do the way that we do it. Your question was about, I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. How are we going to bring them onto or convince them our platform is good? Well, really, it's about the fact that we know what it's like from the perspective of the filmmaker. We, obviously, one of our founding members is a filmmaker himself, and so we've really built our platform with the filmmaker as the main character, if you will, in the platform. All the tools are built around that filmmaker. It's not about making the money men their money back. It's about making the filmmakers, allowing them to earn.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Is this also goes with short films, or features, or primarily just one type of?
Yeah, so we're going to start out with short films because people don't really distribute short films nowadays. You can't really go watch them anywhere. So we're planning to just take focus on short films and eventually go into like series, and then eventually into feature films. Like start small and then build bigger and bigger. That's kind of the goal long term.
Also,
phenomenal concept. Very, very good concept.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, let's give a great round of applause for all 5 of our teams. Incredible mix of ideas. You know, it takes a lot of courage to get up here and give an idea and see how people react. And I think for a new venture, and I want to thank each of those individuals who did this, and really shows the entrepreneurial nature of our students, which is really great. I'm always here saying, wow, that is such a fantastic idea that my brain doesn't work like that. So it's good that we have people like this that do that. So we're really thankful for you being here and getting outside your comfort zones to be up here. So. Here's what we're going to do. The judges will be escorted out. You cannot lobby them on the way out, okay? And they will be escorted. And we have a pleasure of a keynote speaker, and I want you to stick around because also, as part of that, just following the keynote speaker, we are going to have the choice awards from all of you, and we want you to participate in that. So we're going to let our team go. Who is guiding them? Ryan is going to make sure they behave, okay? And so as they're making their way upstairs, it really is my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker for today. This is someone I actually met when I was first running for office. I'm a recovering politician, I like to say, and he was supportive of me. But Paul Jennings launched his first venture selling long-distance plans as a CSUN student. Yes, his first venture was as a CSUN student, building it into the country's 3rd largest inmate telephone provider before founding PCS Energy, LA's largest commercial solar provider. Through the Jennings Family Foundation, he remains a dedicated advocate for education, sustainability, and supporting students with learning disabilities. His $1 million endowment for entrepreneurship at CSUN demonstrates his commitment to helping students transform their own bold ideas into successful ventures that can change industries and communities. He is the entrepreneur's entrepreneur. His mind moves so much faster than mine too. I have to keep up, but he's going to tell us a little bit about his journey and why he's been so incredibly supportive of Cal State Northridge. And we do like to call him Dr. Paul, as he has been one of our honorees here. So thank you so much, and supporting the university. Let's welcome Paul Jennings.
Wouldn't know I was a tech guy, would you? So, I have had 5 different careers, 2 which I worked for someone, and 3 which were related to what Wendy had just shared. There's an interesting twist today. It's a paradox. It is easier than ever to get in business and harder than ever to sustain staying in business. And so I'm going to share with you each of the 5 things I've done and what I learned from them, because I have the luxury at 66 to look back in a rearview mirror and tell you what were the tenets of what I did that were core to my success. And I can tell you everything I'm about to tell you is about value creation, not just any value creation, making sure I can try to create the best value creation within a fear. I'm going to talk about glue. You have to have ways to build your customer base, which for a small business, it's called a niche. And I will talk about what the characteristics of an entrepreneur, because there is a big difference of how some of us are built when we speak about neurodivergency, which I very much fit in that category. I have unique skills. However, I'm a train wreck when it comes to certain other things. I had to learn that along the way. So let me kind of run through the things the opportunities, and I emphasize that. I am humbled and grateful because I got opportunities that a lot of other people haven't gotten. And part of that opportunity I got goes back to CSUN. And for who is a marketing major up here? Marketing majors. It was my second to last class, sales management, and I met my first wife in the sales management class, and I have 2 CSUN kids out of it. I mean, how good is that? So let me speak to the career. So as a kid, I had an interesting opportunity to work on a farm. What I quickly realized is I worked quicker and harder than the other kids because my brain was different. I was not academics. I'd always gotten thrown out of school. Funny enough, they put me in the field with the migrant workers. On the East Coast is blacks and Puerto Ricans. I learned 3 really, really important things in those fields. I call it the Jersey cornfields. I found out 1, there is a hierarchy of respect no matter where you work, even in a cornfield. I learned 2, because you get paid by the piece. The way to make the most money is you collaborate. You line up and there's different techniques and you work as a team. And here's the 3rd thing I've learned. These are 100-hour weeks, 6 in the morning till 8 at night. We have fun. We had fun out there, as tough as it was, because when you're in that environment, what else do you have but to make your own fun? That was an invaluable lesson. And I worked for somebody, and what I quickly realized in that realm, being in agriculture, it's linear, not my thing, because I wanted something more scalable. My next thing was I spent my high school years getting trained to be in aviation, came out here to California, worked on the stealth fighter, knew a lot of things about airplanes, couldn't read and write very well, but I knew a lot of things about airplanes. I got hired at Lockheed. This is why you want kids to have vocational training when in high school they're not very good at the academics. And I got a job at Lockheed working on a stealth fighter. What I found there, even though it was an incredible job, and that's where I first got the seed money to buy my first real estate. Each of you have to have jobs or some way to get those first dollars. My break was working at Lockheed, and being a farmer, there's an old saying, when the sun's shining, you make hay. So what they would do is they let you make a cost-plus project, unlimited hours you could work. Yeah, I worked every possible human, physically hour I could work because I was making piles of money. Well, that wasn't my thing. After 3 years, way too restrictive, and that's me. It's like I can't punch a clock anymore. That led me into an industry that was just breaking up. For the older folks, the more mature folks in the room, we remember when AT&T broke up in January 1983. What matters, and this is the same thing happening on AI, everybody was freaked out. What was a monopoly, like the power company right now, all of a sudden it was open to competition. And I will tell each of you, AI is utterly intimidating to what it's going to do to the world. The best part, though, change is underway. And where there is change, there is opportunity. It's simple as that. So I always have gone to where it's a cutting edge and opportunity. However, when you go to those realms, you're going to get beat up a lot. And I'll tell you some of that as well. And there's other places along the spectrum. And I would say this, being in business, being an entrepreneur, there are gradations of risk and where you want to be. For me, I always wanted to be in something tangible, or at least somewhat tangible. So in the telecom business, what I eventually did, cutting to the short, is I realized there was a new market coming about, inmate telephones. And the issue is they needed to record and they needed to do all these technical things, but the industry was totally irrational because they were charging inmates $4 or $5 per minute. Made no sense. Most of you guys won't remember, tech guys and women, won't remember the word DOS, but we created a little DOS interface that did one thing, allowed inmates to prepay calls, and it took the call from $4 down to 10 cents a minute. Let me say it again, $4 down to 10 cents. We had twice the profit when I sold the business. Why? Because I rationalized the business. Before, they were trying to collect money that they couldn't collect and have to pay the customer. When you prepaid, this is a valuable lesson I learned in a night class here at Northridge, elasticity. Yeah, those folks behind bars, I assure you, they're as rational as anybody else. In fact, 80% of them are learning disabled kids. They just made bad choices. And so when you treat them fairly and give them a 10-cent call, you know what happened? The volume went up 10 times. And that is, my friends, why I was able to have twice the business. Also understanding the trend of technology that sending calls around was getting cheaper and cheaper. That is by far my proudest accomplishment to this date, is that 2 million inmates today now get treated fairly on calls. It was an easy fix. It was just rationalizing the business. Now let me go to the Northridge earthquake. Where there is disaster, there is opportunity. Where there is change, there is opportunity. After the Northridge earthquake, now my back comes to me. I'm an aircraft guy. Taking apartment out of a basement, not a big deal after you've built a stealth fighter. So I went out and set up a machine. Now here's the important lesson. Telecom, I can tell you, I created value for everyone in the stack. Northridge earthquake, that's where my farming days came in of when the sun's shining, make hay. I quickly bought up building after building, hocked myself of every dollar, the story of every entrepreneur. And let me qualify, everything I've ever done has been with my own money. I'm a bit of an outlier. Most people raise money, but I go back to it. I had an opportunity to make some good money up front that then got real estate and then gave me the seeds for these other things. So in the real estate, again, Northridge night school lesson. I'm not going to build these units back the way they were. They were pieces of crap. These were built in the 60s. No, I'm going to put in centralized air conditioning. I'm going to put in new appliances. I'm going to get rid of all the cottage cheese ceilings. I'm going to, put in nice floors, et cetera, et cetera. Now the government, here's the best part. Buying an apartment, if you can imagine, an apartment sitting in the valley of $300,000-400,000, I was buying for $35,000 a unit. I didn't care how bad it was beat up, because at $35,000, yeah, and I would only buy them in the right areas. Why? Because that's the principle of real estate: location, location, location. A bunch of them were right here on Zelza, and a bunch in Sherman Oaks. What I learned there was scalability and how to financially leverage, and realizing there are moments and times in real estate where you can make a lot of hay. Otherwise, real estate's a very, very slow-moving train. It takes patience, lots of patience. And right now, for the side note, it's in a real bad spot because it was overinflated with cheap interest rates, which created an asset bubble, which, even homes and apartments, income producing, they're all dealing with it. Now, once again, let me go back to it. There's the opportunity. Buildings are being taken back by the bank, and there will be opportunities out there. So now let me talk about my last, so let me back up for a moment. Each of the businesses I sold because I had the fun I was going to have, and I don't say that lightly. Everything I've ever done has been about value creation. It's the way my brain works. I've never worried about the money, and I can tell you unequivocally, when you put in the right effort, find the right value creation stack, the money comes by definition of having a good model. Not easy to find, but that's part of your guys' job, is looking and knowing when to quit and move on to the next potential opportunity. So now let me go to the last thing I'm doing now. I'm putting in electric vehicle chargers in apartments throughout Los Angeles. My son runs a business. The chargers here on campus are actually with the company called Chargy, which is the company that my son and I run. He's all the day-to-day. What I learned going back to being an entrepreneur, I am a terrible operator. I learned when my telecom business was 40 million, I hired an industrial psychologist who explained small businesses are nothing more than a dysfunctional family, and thank you. So it really is, a small business has its own dysfunction, and for any business to go from 30 million to 40 million or beyond, you have to break that down and become what we call a professionally run organization. That's not how my brain works. My brain is, I like to connect dots in the abstract, understand it through the filter system I'm telling you guys, and start looking for, can I create value? Then the next proposition is, can I create sustainability? So why am I in apartments? You can only have one provider, because what we're really doing is we're expanding the capability of a 200 amp panel for any of you real estate people. Right now it can only charge 6 cars. Yeah, we can get it to charge 90 cars. Now that's what we call value creation for DWP, because without creating that benefit out of that 200 amp panel, none of these charges, it all breaks down. We can't adopt EVs. Why? Because all the apartments here in LA have limited power going in. However, this is where smarts comes in. If you pull down on a 200 amp panel, 24 hours, you get 900 kilowatt hours. Now we take real data that we have from our business, and we know the average person only uses 10 kilowatt hours a day. What's solving the problem? How to get move energy around within the apartment and make sure we're pulling down on that panel 24/7. The value creation on that is extraordinary. And all it is putting together certain pieces. It's called integration. Cars are going to become bidirectional, if that means anything to people. So I'll say it this way. Within 5 years, your cars will be like your cell phone as it relates to data. Electrons in, electrons out. Ones and zeros telling the electrons to go, no longer the electrons pushing the ones and zeros. It's a fascinating world. What does that mean to entrepreneurship or the folks in this room? In DWP, now I'm going down a bit of a rabbit hole, and tell me when I need to cut off. In DWP, it is completely deregulated. So the company I built, it's called Chargy, we are the only company in the entire country now in this space that is profitable. Only company, and there have been billions lost out there in the EV world. Our alignment goes back to what I know from telecom. I'm working with DWP. Why? They're unregulated, and we all own them. What does that mean? I know that from AT&T. Because conversely, I worked into we would do a lot of work at Edison, just as much, but they're a regulated utility. In DWP, we put chargers in for $2,000 a charger. In Edison, same charger, $10,000. Difference, Edison gets a rate of return and wants to over-engineer it. Why do we do it for $2,000? because we put 5 chargers on for one circuit so that we cannot get just 5 cars. We're here to get every car in every apartment, if the folks want it, charging. So why did I go to that particular market? Because it's a person in the apartment, and this is cause and effect. Why do I know this value stack, I can tell you, is better than anything I've ever done in business? Because the end user benefits, just like the inmate benefited from the cheaper call. It wasn't the cheaper call that he benefited from. It turns out the most effective thing they can offer an inmate on recidivism rate is connectivity to the family. Well, duh, the more the inmate talks to the family, or the folks that, doing their time, the more they have glue when they get out. Same thing with apartments. Why are apartments? Why did I pick that versus truck stops and all that? Because the person who's going to benefit most from EVs is the folks in the apartments. I'll say it differently. Some of you here I know have EVs. Operating an EV costs 70% less than internal combustion engine. Now you get all these hacks out there arguing this stuff. We're intelligent people. A gas car has 1,000 moving parts. An EV has concisely 12 moving parts. Which business would you want to be in long term? So this rabbit hole I'm going down is simply saying this. LA in particular is utterly unique to the opportunity of electrification because they're looking for ways to solve problems. What's the opportunity? Just like telecom. You have all this grid out there, or call it network of wires and all that. We just want to use them more efficiently. There'll be devices to step up voltage, step down, all these things. And here's the irony, because I am endlessly indebted to getting the opportunity to be here in California and being in LA in particular, because I love California, love Northridge, because we get opportunities here that I just don't see anywhere else. I would like to tell you, I just made up that DWP is the only company, big utility in the entire country. As much as we complain about it, yeah, we're going to be celebrating William Mulholland. And the reason I make that point is LA is a city of creativity. That's what we do best. What you guys have already proven, you work a lot harder than the average kid. So I will say this, anybody who thinks, entrepreneur, you do this, you do that, granted, with AI, you're going to probably put in less hours than I put in my career. However, so do all your competitors have the same tools. So it still goes back to the basic tenements of, are you creating value? And it's not just an arbitrage play. We can leave that for the financial engineers. Are you really creating value? And ideally, the more folks you create the value for, the more stockholders, the more glue you have to keep the business. So why did I go in the inmate telephone business? Because all those accounts we kept for 20 years plus, because we solved a real problem. In these apartments, when we rebuilt all the apartments, solved a real problem. All these apartments, and called Ghost Town, needed to be repaired. Repaired it very quickly. It was one of the true moments. LA never gets the credit for this. And I'll look at Wendy Gruhl, because she was intimately involved with the process. This, again, speaks to the heart and beat of LA. No city has ever recovered from an urban disaster quicker than what Mayor Reardon did after the Northridge earthquake. And it's starting to come out in the history books, but it's extraordinary. And again, that's the energy of LA that we haven't gotten it of recent, but the attitude was just get the job done. And I'll say this, in general, contrary to all the nonsense about regulatory and all this, there's a simple reality to California, because I'm a macro picture guy. And let me end on this note. Everything I've done in businesses, when I get in, when I get out, have been determined by macro thinking. Once again, learned that in Northridge night class. And at macroeconomics, real estate, how did I know to buy everything in 95? And by the way, I didn't tell you this, I sold every piece of real estate by 07. Whew, how did I do that? Yeah, simple perspective. I was buying at 35,000. If I now have to buy at 200,000 and come up with a bullshit performer that, it was just a hope trip, yeah, I'll sit that one out. sold it all, and got out. And I felt like an idiot in '07, but when '08 came along, yeah, it made me feel a little smart. And I'm going to say this. Independent thinking is one of my core benefits. When the herd were all saying how great real estate is, yeah, I was heading the other way. By the way, I did not buy any real estate here in LA in this last go-around. I built in Phoenix, hypersensitive to interest rates. I got out 4 years ago. Apartments in Phoenix today are worth 60% of what they were worth 4 years ago. So it's this notion of understanding the timing, and that's why I go specifically electrification. The other piece is obviously AI is going to redefine. So is it scary? Sure. But the point is, it's change, and where there's change, there is opportunity. Wendy, you want me to keep going? Because you know I can keep going, you know? True entrepreneur, sell to the end. Guys, thank you. Hopefully you got something out of that, and you're at a great school.
Thank you, Paul. I mean, you can see that he is a true entrepreneur, and you have to kind of keep up with him. And who would have thought when we first met, you said, I started, with inmate cell phones. And I was like, well, how did that work? How did you think of that, And then it was, solar power, and then it was, different things.
The truth is, Wendy was trying to decide which side of the bars I should have been on.
I wasn't going to say that. So, but thanks again. Let's give Paul a great round of applause. He's been an incredible supporter, and with his time and energy and ideas. And when you plug into a Chargy here, you know that this is the guy who started that company and his family, and he's looking for that next investment. But most importantly, he understands where you have been and understands the investment that CSUN has made in you, and he's made an investment back at CSUN, which is really important. So at this moment, I think we need to have is it up there? Oh, there you go. Audience choice. Okay. So you're going to have 10 minutes to vote for your choice. And so you will visit the link below that you see. We don't have a scanner thing or whatever. This is okay. So you have to type that in and give us your voter's choice. It's important for you to give your voter's choice because that is one of the recipients. We are just awaiting for them to come back, which should be shortly, so do not go far. So please do your vote, stand by, and we will make an announcement when we're ready to give you the winners of today's bull ring. So we have the results to share. This seems like they were all kind of on the same page from what I heard from the brief conversation with our judges. But before we give out the awards, I would like to invite who is going to stand up here with me, our Dean, Chandra, to the stage to help me hand out our certificates and take photos with our winners. Let's give a great round of applause for our Dean of the Nazarian College of Business and Economics. So first, we're going to announce our Audience Choice Awards. Thank you again for all of those of you that participated and put that in there. And as you know, it is a $1,000 prize for the Audience Choice. So it was fairly close. It was 52% of the vote went to Grain as our Audience Choice Awards. So come on up, Grain. So now we're going to continue by awarding the Social Impact Award. This is also $1,000 and is intended to support new ventures that support social causes, human flourishing, and the sustainability of our planet. This year's winner was named a semifinalist, so although we didn't hear their pitch today, they were just next to the cuts. But I want to ask you to join me in welcoming, and I think it's just one of you that's here, right? Yes. Bailey Simeon McGee and her adorable daughter, who I've had fun with. Congratulate them on their Social Impact Award.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll just briefly discuss what this is about. So I'm not sure if a lot of you know what Section 8 is, and so my business is I am the middleman between Section 8 voucher holders and the landlords. So When people get vouchers, they are only granted about 30 to 60 days to lease up. So my business is a platform that's designed to do the whole lease-up process for voucher holders. So we are technology. We have a platform. It's a two-sided platform, one for landlords and the other is for voucher holders, and the human layer. So my job right now is I'm actually a housing coordinator for former foster youth. So this is how I came up with the whole plan business. And that's it. Okay, come on.
Thank you so much. And you know, it is, I work on housing and homeless issues and actually help on a board of a foster youth organization. And getting connection between landlords and Section 8 is a really hard thing. In fact, we have in Los Angeles County alone about 1,500 vouchers for veterans that are being unused because they can't find a place to go. They have the voucher in hand. So that connection, I may have to find out from Ryan, will connect us. So this sounds like a great project. So thank you very much. Congratulations for the Social Impact Award. Let's give a great round of applause. Our next honor is the Best Use of Technology Award. This recognizes excellence in leveraging technology to solve some of the society's most meaningful and pressing problems. This year's $1,000 prize award as semifinalist, who also was very close to making the cut for the finals. It was obviously a very competitive year this year. This year's Best Use of Technology Award goes to Devashish Arora and Sumita Upal, two computer information technology majors at CSUN, who will now share a little bit about their business. Let's give them a great round of applause.
So we took your health in mind and we built policy-proof AI. What exactly is policy-proof AI? If we can get a show of hands, how many of you guys know who has or is currently a cancer patient? Look at that, everyone's raising their hand. So we built a legal AI audit system that solves the problem and helps you fight back. Basically, you get a denial letter from the insurance company saying, we're not gonna pay for your appeal. We're not gonna pay for your treatment. And guess what? We are backed up by the California Medical Review and the Department of Patient Care. And that is our project.
All right, it's the time you all have been waiting for. Again, a special thank you to our judges who spent their afternoon volunteering to help us. Let's give a great round of applause for our judges. Thank you so much. So we are first going to announce our third place winner, which receives $2,000. It was really a great idea, elegance on the platform, great option for the market, impressive early traction. And so it is our honor to be able to present the third place winner, List a Bid. Now we are going to our second place bid, which you may recall is a $5,000 check that you received to further your business. The kind of feedback was a great value to customer, unique concept, wonderful energy with the presentation, and is our second place winner is finalist. I think that, you know, it goes without saying, but important to say that everyone was a winner today, by part of this finalist, that everybody has really demonstrated their entrepreneurial skills. And as Paul mentioned in his remarks, you know, you are pushing forward and your idea continues to grow and you continue to have investments, and putting yourself out there is worth a lot to your experience and to your success. And so with that, our first place prize winner receives $10,000. The kind of commentary was a giant market, unique network, and huge opportunity. Great presentation that hit all the points. And so for our first place winner with $10,000 is Grain. Thank you so much. And before we conclude, I want to take a moment to thank Jordan Osborne, who's sitting here in the front, who did a lot. Thank you so much, Jordan, for your hard work and helping put this event together. And of course, Ryan, for your leadership. So this concludes our 2026 Jeff Marine Bull Ring New Ventures Competition. Congratulations to the teams. Thank you to the audience. You were participating in all of this. So thank you so much, and our judges, and for the 5 finalists who made it out of 38 to be here today. So I think Chandra wants to say something.
Can we get all of the winners and the judges and Ryan to come to the stage so they can take pictures of everyone?
Okay, great. So all of the winners, and I think and
keynote
the
speaker.
Keynote speaker too. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Come on.
Thank you. Congratulations, everyone.